Hello, everyone. Should I send you this way? Just stay this way. Over here. Let me know when it's 5:03. I know I do. Got one more minute. How's everyone doing? I hope all is well. All is well. All right, 5:03. Thank you so much. So, I hope all is well. As I said earlier, hi everyone. I am Monique, and I am coming to you today from the beautiful. I don't even know where I'm at anymore. I'm somewhere in the ocean. Somewhere in the ocean. I'm close to Florida, I'm sure. Heading back to Florida. So, God is faithful. I just wanted to come and talk to you all really quickly. I told myself, regardless to where I am, I made a commitment to God that I would do this for 1 year. So I don't know where He wants to take me after that 1 year, but for 1 year, I will for sure do these lives. So today, I wanted to just talk about the mindset. You know, scriptures tell us that what a man thinketh, so is he. And we tend to use words and say things, and I think that sometimes we just kind of get caught up in the cliche of things. Like, you know, people will say, oh, I'm the infamous so-and-so, or, you know, I'm the single mama, or I'm the, starving artist. Like, we say these things, but that's not who we are. That may be where we are right here, right now. And so while I was out on this water and all this water, I thought about the story of Peter. And when Jesus was walking on the water, and he told Peter he could come to him. And Peter was doing fine, all was well, but as soon as he took his focus off of Christ, he started sinking. And the same thing happens with us, right? We see God's blessings and He's doing all these great things, and then something trips up. maybe it's a sickness, maybe it's whatever, you lose your job, whatever. And then we get frustrated, and then we will lose our focus of Christ, but that's really part of the plan. But we don't know the plan, and so sometimes we mess up with thinking that we get tripped up by raindrops, but we done been through storms, and we got to make sure that we keep the raindrops in perspective, and even the storms in our lives in perspective, because we serve a God that controls the storm. He can tell the storm, peace be still. And so I started just thinking about also Elijah. And in the story of Elijah, this is 1 Kings 17, and Elijah comes across a widow woman who's widowed, and she has a child, and she already knows the outcome. She's like, oh, my son, she tells Elijah, my son and I are going to eat this. I just have enough flour and oil to make one more cake. We're going to eat this cake and we're going to die. And Elijah tells her, okay, do what you say you were going to do. Make that cake, but give me first. Give it to me first. And so can you imagine, you like, I know the outcome, I'm about to die. Now you want me to give you what I don't even, all I got enough is for me and this boy, and now you want some? And so our faith is constantly tested, and she did exactly what Elijah told her to do, and it said that she never ran out of flour and oil. And Christ tells us, well, God tells us to test him, and test him at his word, take him at his word, and see if he will do the very things that he said he will do. And we have to believe him enough to do that. That's why he says, seek me first. He already got the plan. He already knows. Like, I'm out here, I don't see land nowhere. I don't see land, I don't see no birds. I see nothing but water forever and ever. There is no end. But that's because on my vantage point is only so big. God knows the plan. But so often we speak into ourselves something that we can speak so much negativity into ourselves. I know this is so not from the Bible, but I remember I listened to the song by Luther Vandross, it's Superman, right? And he says Superman believes he can fly. Why? Because he believes he can. And so what are we believing that we can do? Or what are we saying we can't do? And because we put that word can't on it, it's keeping us from being able to move to the next level. And that's with everything. That's with our spiritual life. That's with our businesses. That's with everything. We have to believe that we can do it. That's why it says, with a man think it. What are you thinking? What are you pouring back into your mind? And I used the picture today of the butterfly because we have to start transforming our mind. We got to start renewing our mind. When a butterfly starts out, it's really an ugly caterpillar. Maybe you'll see a couple caterpillars and you're like, oh, that's such a pretty caterpillar. But for the most part, caterpillars are ugly. They're ugly, wormy looking things, but there's a process that they have to go through to get to the next phase. And we're no different. We have to go through some ugly phases. We got to go through some uncertain phases, like I said with the widow woman with Elijah, to bake that cake and give it to him first. I'm sure that was a part of her. She knew he was a man of God, but there had to be a part of her that was like, ugh, if I do this, what's the outcome going to be? And so we have to make sure that as we are processing this thing called life, that we're constantly in communication with Christ. We're constantly making sure that we are aligning ourselves with him. That's why when I pray, I always ask, let your will be done. And it's because sometimes my will and God's will can be two different wills. I never thought that I would be this big old age and still not be married, be this big old age and have these things that this isn't how my life was supposed to be. However, I am in the right place where God wants me to be right here and right now. And I take comfort and courage in that. I think about, as you all know, I want to be married one day. And so when I went back home to Detroit, I started looking at the wives in my family, wives, some of my friends that are wives, and started saying, what characteristics, because there was a time I wanted marriage, I didn't necessarily want to be a wife. And so I was starting to look at what things about me I needed to add, what things about me I need to take away so that I can be the type of wife that will be good for who God has for me. Sometimes that's the reason we haven't achieved it, because God knows that if we get it, we're not going to do right by it. So what is it about me that I need to purge? What is it about me that needs to transform? What is it about me that I need to give completely to God? Because like I had said one time before, when I was younger and I was married, I was looking for God in my husband. He's still a man. He's still imperfect. He still has his issues. And so then when storms came, I was like, this is not what I signed up for. But actually it was. This is what I signed up for. Because you have to take the good and the bad, just like I want him to take the good and the bad of me. But I should be in a constant state of working on me, purifying me, asking God to fill those voids that are in me. And so I just wanted to bring that to you guys. I said it was going to be short and sweet. I'm happy my Wi-Fi haven't cut you guys off. We have to think something different. We have to make sure that we're pouring in us, and make sure we get around some people that's pouring that positivity into us as well. The scriptures say iron sharpens iron. What's sharpening you? Are you being sharpened, or are you becoming dull? Which one is it? When two pieces of iron come together, it's a spark. Are you guys sparking each other? What are you doing? Or are you just somewhere just clanking and making a bunch of noise? And I want to have people around me that's honest enough to tell me that, sis, you're not sharpening me, so that I can get tight. Don't smile me to hell. If I'm doing something raggedy and wrong in my life, I want somebody that can be that honest and say, hey, sis, you really out of order. You really might want to work on those things. And that's what we should have. We should have people in our world that'll be that honest with us, that whole with us. But we need to be able to stand in our own mirror and be that honest and whole about ourselves too. Everybody don't have to tell you that you're raggedy. We have the perfect guide for our life. We have the scriptures, and don't get me wrong, I am nowhere near perfect. So far from it. But I do, in my humbleness, try to ask God, show me, reveal me to me, help me be better, help me to want to be better. I remember when I read the scriptures, when Christ, he pulls the guy away and says, do you want to be healed? Some of us don't want to be healed. Some of us like the mindset that we have. Some of us, we may not be sick with disease or blindness or whatever. We're not struck with disease. However, our mindset is so messed up that that's our sickness. We can't see ourselves how God sees us. And so we can't be used. But that's it. I hope that edified you guys in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to turn the camera around so y'all can see this this ocean out here. But God is so faithful. He is so faithful, and I'm so grateful that he has allowed me an opportunity to speak to you guys from my limited viewpoint on life. And so I just pray that these little chats help someone, that we're able to all usher in and do this thing called life together, because we were not made to do it by ourselves. We really do need one another. We really do need to be able to say, hey, I need help. I pray that you get someone that, and if it's me, call me up. Hey, I need